All right, everyone. Welcome to Oceanside Library's virtual art reception. Thank you so much for being here. To begin today's program, we're going to start with the resident artists. But first, let me just welcome everyone to the lower level of Oceanside Library. Thanks to our wonderful tech librarian, Jamie Albanese, who put this together. We can have this beautiful virtual art gallery. This is the home page. If you go to exhibits, you can click on main gallery, and then you'll see Caroline's featured collections, the local collections I'm about to show you, and then an about the artist page. So you can learn about the artists that we are exhibiting this month. We also have a children's section, which is super cool, very, very creative, and just inspires you. So I would definitely check that out if you want to smile. So to begin, let's introduce our resident artists. First, we have Paul Oreski. Paul has been a featured artist with us before. We're so excited to have him in our virtual art gallery. Thank you so much, Paul. If you want to turn your mic on, you can come on and introduce yourself. Welcome, Paul.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sorry for the poor resolution. This is a very old computer, and the camera evidently isn't as fine as some of the newer ones. But I do want to thank Ocaria, well, Tony Iovino, Ocaria, and Jamie for putting all of this together, and all the library staff for doing such a great job that your budget passed, so we can have an even better library in Oceanside in the near future. So congratulations to all, and thank you very much. This is really a very nice pleasure to be included here in Oceanside.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. It's an honor for us.
I just want to congratulate the other two photographers and I can't wait to see what their work looks like. I guess we can.
Let's begin?
Yeah, we can continue with the pictures if you'd like.
All right, so we'll start with the first one. And tell us where these pictures are from, Paul.
Okay, all of these pictures were taken in southern Florida. Many years ago, even before digital cameras, when I first started photographing, I would go to Florida and I'd go to the Everglades areas in Florida and photograph. Over the course of the several years, I really hadn't had the opportunity to get back there. And so when my friend who had an apartment in Florida offered to go and photograph with me, I said that would be great. So we went. And he's since sold the apartment. It was condominium. So we can't go back. So these are kind of the last images I have of Florida, at least for now. This one in particular is special because this is a baby alligator, and it was very difficult to find, believe it or not, very difficult to find alligators in Florida when we were there, which was the spring. This one was a baby who was on a log, and I walked past it once, I walked past it twice, and then my friend looked down and we both were astounded to see it just sitting there. Mother was huge, but this one was very small. So this one I called Baby, and
very nice.
That's one of them.
Oh, so cool.
Okay, this is a purple gallinule. You see black ones even in Central Park. They're black and they have a tan beak. This one is a purple one. It's not easy to find. In the Everglades, if you know where to go, you can find them. But this is a purple gallinule that was taken in the National Park, Everglades National Park in southern Florida.
It camouflages so well with the, is that why you said it's so difficult to find? Because it looks like the plants around it, it's so colorful.
It's also, it's not as numerous as the common gallinule.
Right.
As I said, the common gallinule you can find even in Central Park. It's up and down the East Coast. This one I haven't seen outside of the Everglades.
Wow. It definitely beats the regular one. I mean, black and tan
Oh,
to then these
yes.
gorgeous colors, right?
They're beautiful.
Right.
Let's see. This one,
Lunch.
um,
He's eating the frog, I
well,
believe.
I
Got
know
an
it's
action shot.
yeah, it's unfortunate. It's very difficult to see, to make it out. But yes, it's a little blue heron. We were traipsing along in the Everglades, and my friend went on ahead, and this little blue heron just flew into this grove of trees in the swamp, and I stopped and I just sat down and I watched, and sure enough, he was looking for lunch. And this one is a picture of him with the frog in his mouth. And eventually he flew off and ate the frog somewhere. I didn't see him actually gulp it down, but I did see
Wow.
him catch it.
Well, that's quite an action shot that you got there. That's
Yeah,
really cool.
that is. I'm very happy about that. Now
Yeah.
this picture was taken through a screen in my friend's apartment or condominium. Um,
Oh.
when I got up one morning, I could see the dark storm clouds overhead, and then all of a sudden the sun broke through, and you could see the buildings in the background. And I was very fortunate to be able to have my camera very close to me, and so I grabbed it and I took 3 or 4 photographs as the scene unfolded. And I think this is the best of the bunch. Um,
Did you do anything special with the camera to get the vibrant colors? Is there like a special
Actually
feature?
not. Actually not. I don't Photoshop any of my photographs, but I do edit them. And I have to admit that I do add color from time to time. Um, I try not to oversaturate it, but my goal is to show what I saw when I saw it. So I don't overdo it, but most pictures today need sharpening. I don't know why. The lenses and the equipment is so much better than when I was photographing the 60s and the 70s with film, but it just doesn't seem to be as sharp as the film. And
Hmm.
so a little sharpening is done. Sometimes a little cropping is done to get rid of unwanted um, aspects of the environment
Right.
that seem to have to be included in order to get the photograph that you want.
Right.
Uh, so all of that's done, and a lot of this, I know there are a lot of critics about the post, if you will, camera work, but even in the black and white days, a lot of work was always done in the darkroom. I know because I started with a black and white darkroom, and the kind of work that was done was just incredible at times. I mean, Ansel Adams is known. It took him weeks, months maybe, to get a photograph uh, the way he wanted it in the darkroom. So even though I do try to be true and I try to take the best picture I can without any editing, and as I said, I don't know Photoshop, I don't own Photoshop, but I do use some of the editing materials on my computer, the so-called Google Pictures,
Right.
to do some editing.
Nice. I like what you said though, that you want the audience to see you want to capture what you saw. So
Yes.
that was well put.
And that's not to say that anything that anybody else does, I marvel. I have photographer friends. What they can do with a picture is just incredible. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
they can put my head onto the body of a horse. It's and make it look real. I mean, it's just incredible what can be done. But
It is.
that's not my slant on photography. I also like color. I like design. I like lines, different lines. And in other work that I do, that's more evident. This is more the natural scene.
Right.
This scene, we were looking to find an area in the Everglades. We were driving around and driving around, and we kind of got a little lost. And we found this little park off to the side of the road. And I told my friend, we're pulling over here. I want to take a look at the scene I saw across the street. And this was it. There were a couple of other things. The sun was just coming up in the morning, the fog was lifting, and this was one of the scenes with the birds taking off, the fog, and the trees in the background. Of course, the one main tree in the foreground. So this is an early morning shot. Um,
I
just
really
off
love this photo. It looks like a painting to me. It's so calming. I really like
It
this
is.
one.
I do too. This is one of my favorites of all that I took in Florida. There are a couple of others that we took, or I took along this off the beaten path road that I probably could never find again. That I thought were the best of the bunch that I did take. Beautiful
Oh,
landscaping.
beautiful.
It just worked very, very well.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Paul. Oh, and
You're
that's
very
it. That's right.
welcome.
That's 5. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Those
my
were
pleasure.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Um, just that I find photography very soothing, very rewarding. I don't do much in terms of studio work. All of my work is done as I see it, as I come across it. So I'll go out and photograph. I don't plan my photographs. I know that many photographers they'll find a site and they do plan to be at that site at a certain time. I don't work like that. I do know, for example, I'm doing a series on the nesting birds on the Lido beaches. And I was up very early this morning. I was out there and the common tern chicks hatched. So I took several photographs of the terns and the nests and the eggs and so on and so forth. But I plan to be there as on time for all of this, but I don't plan any more than that. If
Right.
the birds are there, then they're there. If they're not there, then I come back another day or another time.
Oh, that's nice. Well, it's some nice advice too for new photographers too. I like that you said
Yes.
that. Yeah.
And for new photographers, the best thing you can do is to go out, take pictures, and be a very, very difficult critic on what you're doing. Then start reading books. After you've taken some pictures and you've criticized your work, then start reading some books as to how to improve. But the best thing to do is to just get a huge memory card, put it in your camera, and photograph like crazy.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Paul.
You're
Thank you for
very
that.
welcome. My
Let me
pleasure.
read you
Thank
some of
you.
you're welcome. Let me read you some of the comments that just popped up as we finished your photos. Someone said that the last photo really looks like a painting. Beautiful. Jamie said, beautiful photos as usual, Paul. Always happy to see your work in the library. And then some of the patrons said, nice work. Love the muted colors on the last one. It's timeless. That's what I liked about it. Oh, we've got
Right.
a new one too. The soft morning atmosphere is so beautiful. Makes me want a cup of coffee. Last photo can be from any century. And then Caitlin said, love your work. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for your positive
Yes, thank
comments.
you,
Those were
everyone.
beautiful.
Thank you
Oh,
very
and
much.
Cheryl said she really enjoyed your description. It is a great one.
Thank you. It's
All right.
my pleasure.
Thank you so much. Just a quick question, technical, only because I, on my end, have a couple of windows open. You guys don't see any gray squares on your screen, right?
I don't.
Okay. All right, good. Sometimes that happens. Thank you. Thank you for answering on the chat. Sometimes that happens as the host. All right. So let me move on now to our next resident artist. Thank you so much, Paul.
Should I mute myself?
Sure. That would be great. Thank you. Just in case. All right. So our next one are the Heads Up Portraits by Richard Verity. Richard, if you want to turn your mic on. There you are. Oh, I'm sorry, Richard. No, I don't hear you. I'm so sorry. Oh, it must be technical, something glitchy. My apologies. Um,
Is
well,
there a way he can phone call in just so we can hear him right now?
do you want to do that, Richard? You can call that phone number on our on the description. All right. I guess in the meantime, I'm wondering if we should just go on to Caroline, and then we could follow back up on Richard. What do you think, Jamie?
You are the captain of the ship. It's up to you.
Thanks. Just, I guess, not to make people wait. All right. And I guess when Richard comes back, we'll just let him know that. All right. So let me just pull up our featured artist here. Actually, hold on. Let's just wait. Let's just give it a minute, just in case, because he's probably going to pop on while we're in the middle of introducing Caroline. So we'll just give it a few moments. Let me see. Did he go away completely? Yeah. Okay. He just logged off. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Sorry, these technical difficulties. There's a first time for everything, so I just didn't want to. I don't want to throw Richard off if he comes back.
Oh, it looks like he just came back in. Let's see.
Thanks. Thank you for writing in the chat. Richard's here on the phone. Richard, can you hear us? Oh, I think he's connecting.
Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully he'll get in.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to virtual programming. Just give it a little moment. I see the 3 little dots going. I don't know what that noise is, so I'm sorry. I don't know what's making that noise. I don't know if it's someone that wasn't muted. All right, so just give it one more minute. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate your patience. Just giving it one more second here to see if Richard can connect. Let me pull up his images in the meantime. Really talented. I believe he said these are oil paintings. So I'm very excited.
It's trying to connect. You know what?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll chat privately with Richard in the meantime, and you guys can move on to Caroline, and then we'll circle back.
Okay. All right, let's do that. All right, so let me just bring it up here. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce our featured artist, Caroline. If you want to, you can turn your mic on. Our featured artist is Caroline Bert. I'm so excited to have Caroline in our virtual gallery because Caroline has been a resident artist in the library many, many times, and it's always such a pleasure to have her because she's so talented. Your work is so unique, Caroline, so one of a kind. So it's always a pleasure, really, seeing your work. So do you want to say anything before we begin?
You can start going through the photos and I'll start talking.
Sure. All right. So should I just click and you just tell me when to stop?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's the first one. Oh, sorry. There we go. Do you want to tell us a little bit about, how, what do you do to make these images look the way that they do? What is the special effects that you put to it?
So first I just want to thank everybody for your support. And it's an honor to be in such great company. I really admire the work of the resident artists. So my work is about change and the passage of time and preserving the good times to help you get through the bad times. This body of work includes 48 models. So pretty much the process with my models is that I will organize a photo shoot with from 1 to maybe 30, 35 models. And I'll organize the models in certain ways. They're all dancers and some gymnasts. And I'll organize them in different ways that I find choreographically pleasing. And then when I print the images, I'll do multiple different processes in this show. So if you stop there, that image is over a cyanotype, which is a sun print. And then I would cut the models out of the paper and then place them in front of the cyanotype.
Oh, wow, that's so cool.
And for these ones, they're printed on a clear transparency film called DOS film, and then layered with flowers and resin over the glass.
Beautiful. Caroline, this is so cool.
Thank you.
Oh, I love this. Ooh, this one's really cool.
And some of them were layered digitally on Photoshop.
Nice. And just to, only because this, that'll be too much to say later. So far, so many of the patrons are saying they love your work, beautiful work, wonderful. Miss Leanna said, yay, Kara, they look amazing, beautiful job. Love these images. So just wanted to catch you up. Talented artist. Let's keep going. And if everyone else can just mute themselves, we're getting some background noise. So just make sure that you're muted. All right.
So some of the images, I included a picture of the front and the back so that you can see the different dimensionality of it.
Wait, I'm sorry. Let me go back there. Go ahead.
It is a different look when you're looking at it from the back because the flowers are more in the foreground and then the dancers are in the background as opposed to the dancers being in the foreground and the flowers in the background.
Incredible. Really cool. Oh, and a patron just said the same thing. These are incredible. Oh, and Jamie was saying, Carolyn, I love that you included the back side of these prints with the resin. So cool with the flowers. I agree, Jamie. So cool. All right. Let me keep going. Oh, this was neat. I like this one a lot.
So yeah, before coronavirus happened, I was printing a lot of my images on the DOS film. But then after the coronavirus, I didn't have access to the printer that I was using to print the DOS film. So I just printed these photos at CVS and then would cut them up and layer them with the resin and the flowers.
That's awesome. Same thing. Oh, it's so cool. I like the flowers that you chose as well. I mean, were they chosen specifically because of their color? Because I feel like it brings out the color in the images too.
It does have to do with the color, and a lot of it has to do with the feeling of the image and then the secret language of flowers. So Charles Darwin called the early study of flowers an abominable mystery. And it was because people used to use flowers as a way of communicating, and they would give flowers to people in a way to ask them questions, and the way that they would return the flowers, but the way that they would receive the flowers would show their answer to the question. So if you handed someone flowers with your right hand, that would mean yes, but if you handed it with your left hand, that means no. And if you handed like someone a bouquet of flowers, like certain flowers could mean growth and prosperity, but if you hand it to them upside down, then that means the opposite. So that has a lot to do with why I chose the flowers that I chose.
That's really cool. I really like that. Very interesting. And I mean, some of those traditions, still, I guess carry till today because of, people use flowers all the time to communicate, but that's such an interesting perspective and a good education on your part. I really like that. Oh, just to catch you up. Someone said, these remind me of the work of the famous Chad Del Vecchio did for Theodore Roosevelt for his 62nd birthday. No one could capture such beauty like Chad. You nailed it. Love the layers and transparencies that you have achieved. So much light and positivity, exactly what I needed to see today. Thank you, Caroline. And love that you're educating us in addition to sharing these beautiful images. Me too. I love that part. It's just, you have such a great perspective. That's a great way to look at it when you do these images. Oh, Jamie said there's a great book that touches on that in a modern way. The Language of Flowers by Vanessa Diffenbaugh. Did I say that correctly? Thanks, Jamie. Great. All right, let me keep going. I liked this one too because it looked like it was like deep, like she was deep in the water. That was really nice. Now these, is there an image behind or is it just the flower? Oh,
Yeah, there's an image behind there.
Sorry, hold on a second. When I click out of the image, it brings me back. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, everyone. Just one moment. My computer's being a little slow. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. Why did I click out? Hold on one second. It's just being a little slow. Just give me 1 minute.
While we wait for this to load, I just want to mention all of my models. There's a lot, so just bear with me. Ava, Ella, Angelina, Erin, Caitlin, Gracie, Olivia, Sophia, Christy, Maddie, Regina, Allie, Charlie, Sophia, Gabby, MJ, Jordan, Tori, Giada, Ava, Daleen, Olivia, Arabella, Julia, Jacqueline, Taylor, Izzy, Emma, Faye, Katie, Ava, Lauren, Savannah, Jessica, Charlotte, Caitlin, Emmy, Lacey, Devin, Skylar, Ashley, Gabby, Victoria, and Jessica.
Thank you, Caroline. Awesome. You just bought me a little bit of time, so I appreciate that. I'm almost there. I just had to reload it. And what's the age group of the models? Is it like middle school, elementary, high school?
All ages. So the youngest is 3 years old, and then the oldest is 17.
Nice. All right, let me just share my screen again. Here we go. All right, and we're back. This is the picture we left off with. These were, it almost looked like a movie, the dark ones. I like this a lot.
So these were image transfers. So I printed the image on the DOS film and then transferred it onto a tile.
A tile? Just like a ceramic tile?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. This one too?
Yeah.
Oh. That's really cool. And the models are great dancers. These ballet positions too.
Thank you.
I see also, I'm keeping in mind your captions. They're also very perceptive. You know, they really go with each image.
Thank you.
I like the captions you gave to each image. And now with this one, what do you do to make it the color that it is? You know,
that was
play around with Photoshop.
No, so that was in my lighting when I took the pictures. So I set up the lights with a gel over it, so it has a different color.
Nice. Oh, I see. That one came out really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wonderful work. Oh, that's it. This is back to our first image. Thank you so much, Caroline. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Caroline. Again, you're such a talented, wonderful young artist, and it's always a pleasure for the Oceanside Library to exhibit your work. It's really an honor. So we thank you so much for just always wanting to participate with us.
Yay!
And obviously the community agrees. That's so nice. Thank you, everyone, for your support. That's wonderful. All right. So thank you again, Caroline. I can't seem to bring up the chat, but there is a couple of comments on there if you wanted to read. For some reason, my computer is getting very glitchy today. So.
I can go through a lot of them are just very complimentary. So let's see what do we have here. We have.
Thank you, Jamie. For some reason, it won't come up.
Right. We already know Caroline is a talented artist, but another great thing about her is that she's always showing love to others via mentoring her models. So that's a really nice comment from someone. Someone else said, Sharon said, it would be interesting to research the meaning of the flowers in relation to your cultural background, which is kind of a cool idea too.
That is cool.
And then we have just a lot of love. Very hardworking, innovative, self-motivated young artist with a bright future. Can't wait. Artwork and
Is she done?
Oh, she can hear me.
Oh, hold on. Let me try to just make sure you guys are muted as we go through.
Hi, Mom.
Love the pictures. Amazing job, Caroline. The movement of the flowers complement the flow of the dancers' bodies. So amazing. Big congrats. Proud of you, XOXO Aunt Joni. You're beautiful on the outside and inside, and that's what shows in your work. Loved every picture. Caitlin says, I love modeling for you. So everyone's just loving on it.
Aw, thanks, Jamie. Thank you so much for sharing those.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for writing. All right. So thank you again, Caroline. Now let me move on to back to Richard. Let's see if we could maybe show his work. Richard, are you with us? Either via phone or the computer.
I've been emailing Richard, and I sent him the phone number, so he said he'll try it. Hopefully he can get in here.
Okay. I'll just pull up his work for now. All right. Hello, Richard?
Richard.
Yay!
Hey there!
Join the meeting.
Thanks, Richard. Thank you so much.
Perfect timing.
Can you hear us? Richard. Hold on, wait. Maybe I
Can
just
you hear me?
Yes, there you are. I can hear you now. All right, Richard. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for coming on with your phone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. So, Richard, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself before I show your images?
Yes, I'm a retired gentleman at the moment, 61. I worked for Citibank for 25 years. Retired about 8 years ago. I've painted seriously since about the age of 33. If you look here, the self-portrait, that was done about 20 years ago. So, I don't know if you can see me on a
Yes, I just
screen.
pulled it up. I pulled up your self-portrait first. Go
There
ahead.
you
You can
go.
tell us
So,
about it.
I've put on a few pounds since then. But this piece is about 30 by 40 inches. It's a full size. It's like, you can put it on the wall. It would take up the whole space. So
And what kind of
I've
paint
always
do you use?
oil paint, strictly oil painting. Was what I was taught in, and it's always been my passion. So I'm now doing wood carving and found object.
Oh,
Do a
cool.
lot of beach combing because I live in Long Beach.
Nice. Oh, the next one I pulled up is George Clooney.
Yes, this is my latest completed canvas. I've gone back to portrait work in the last 2 or 3 years, and this was a challenge for me. And I always like to challenge myself in my work. So,
Why was this particular one a challenge?
you know, it was the coloring, the darkness, the way the light hit his face.
Mm.
I work from photographs mostly, so there was just a very good picture of him, and I just felt I could bring it to life. There wasn't very much color in the photograph, so it was a matter of applying the colors in the proper context, light to shadow.
Well, I think you did a fantastic job with that. The shadowing is perfect, and even his
Thank you.
grays, even his grays, you got well.
Exactly. As I said, my teacher always taught me, less is more. So if you look at the paint strokes in the hair, there really isn't that many. It's laid over a very dark area, but it gives you that, it stands out.
Right. Very, very.
Him, that is eyebrows, the nose, the mouth, the way it curves at the tip. At the,
Right, with his
at the end.
cheeks. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But the
So,
eyebrows actually are perfect.
the cleft chin, he has that like dimple in it.
Yeah. Your next one is Jerry Garcia.
Actually, this painting is 9 by 12 inches. It's very small. And I actually did it in one sitting, about 3 hours.
Wow.
And that's very rare. Usually it takes for me, it takes me a couple of weeks to really do a full canvas. But once in a while, it happens.
Right. You just feel inspired to get it all done in one sitting.
Exactly.
Well, this one, the shading also was great between his hair and his beard. You made it work.
I've always loved color, so that's pretty much why you always see it that way.
Yeah. All right, next one is Head Study.
This is one of the few pieces that I actually have not that much color in it. I did a study. I drew it first on the canvas, and then used one color, Prussian blue, against a very light blue background. So leaving the light background and then putting in all the darks makes it stand out that way. So.
And did you use a paintbrush or?
Oh yeah, yes, paintbrush.
Wow, it almost looks like chalk.
I drew it in pencil first. So
Right.
like in the hairlines, you see the small lines above the eye. That's actually pencil. The darker lines are all the paint. So you get both.
Got it. Oh well, I really like this one. It's very, very talented. Ooh, Watching You. This one's really fun.
This one came about, I said I had found a photo of a man with a camera, but it was black and white. And I wanted to do it in color, but leave it in the shadow and kind of make it look almost alien-like, that they're watching us. And at the time, I also happened to be reading 1984 by George Orwell. So that was the inspiration.
Oh, well, that comes through. I like that. Oh, very fun. All right, and that's it. Back to your self-portrait.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard. These were really, really talented. This was wonderful. Really well done.
Kind of you to say.
Well, thank you so much to all of our artists.
I'll read a couple of comments for Richard real quick.
Oh, sure. My little red button didn't even go on.
Well, I wrote that Jerry gave me a little bit of like a Van Gogh kind of feel. There was something about the style and kind of the colors of it a little bit that made me think of his style. Lenice says, what is your process for choosing the people that you paint?
Richard, did you hear that?
I heard the question. Could you repeat it?
Sure. What is the process for choosing the people that you paint?
I would tell you there's really no definite process. It's what appeals to me, whether the picture or not is viable. Can I translate it, make it better? My teacher always would say to us, when you paint a picture, your painting should be better than the photograph or the picture you're using. So that's you're always trying to enhance it and make it your own.
Nice.
All right, thanks. And yeah, a couple other just nice works. Thanks for sharing. And yeah, I think I loved your work too. It's nice to my boyfriend and I, well, we do, we watch Bob Ross and oil paint that way, so it's quite different. But the
Bob Ross was my first inspiration.
Everybody's.
But everybody goes on from there.
Yeah, the portraits always seem very, very intimidating to me personally. I feel like that's a whole nother ball.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
The self-portrait was one of the last canvases I did when I was still in school 20 years ago. I was hitting my mark, and then certain things happened. I had a bad accident and rehabilitation. But I went back to the portrait work, and actually I'm in a drawing portrait group now, and they've inspired me to go back to it. So.
Oh, that's great.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for reading the comments, Jamie. And thank you to Jamie for, again, putting together this extremely professional virtual gallery. It's such an honor to work with you, Jamie. Thank you so much for doing this. This is so nice. You're so talented too.
No, you're the best, Ocaria.
Stop it. And Jamie, is there anything else you'd like to say before we end the program today?
Just as usual, thank you to the artists. I really love that we're doing this virtually out of kind of selfishness, because I get to be involved now in the building. This was something that only Ocaria didn't handle.
Yeah.
Now I get to kind of be a part of it, and I really love the artwork, even in the library, because our break room is downstairs. When there were shows in the library, I would love just getting to kind of see, what was new and what was up. I've seen lots of Paul's work up there and everything, and so it's nice to just be a part of it. And there's just such talent in the community, and I just love to see it. So.
Thanks, Jamie. Well said. Me too. I've always said it was my favorite part of my job. So it continues to be, even now at home, it continues to be the favorite part of my job because I just get to work with you guys. So thank you so much to Caroline Bert, our featured artist, to Richard VERITY for these beautiful oil paintings, and to Paula Resk for your amazing photography as always. So thank you so much, you guys. You made tonight what it is. And thank you everyone for coming.
Yeah, and
stay well, stay safe.
Is what is it? Oceansidelowerlevel.com, right? Yes.
Yes, and they'll be there for the entire month of July. So, until we switch to our next artist. So please share the website with as many followers as you'd like, and tell them all to check it out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.